Hello and welcome to Rando Rob. Each week on Rando Rob, I'll be showing and discussing one item from my large collection of collections. New shows appear every Monday, and throughout the week, I'll be adding older episodes of Rando Rob that were previously only available to my Patreon subscribers. You can watch episodes of Rando Rob on YouTube at youtube.com/Rob O'Hara. Just look for the Rando Rob playlist. Audio versions of the show are available on my website at podcast.robohara.com or through iTunes. Just search for Rando Rob. Thanks for watching or listening, and I hope you enjoy this vintage episode of Rando Rob. Today on Rando Rob, I'm going to show you the absolute newest addition to my collection. It hasn't even made it to the shelves. It's made it to here. I opened it at my desk. And it hasn't made it back there. It's been sitting here. Now, what I'm showing here next to me is I believe this is probably a VHS cover of a movie called The Stuff. The Stuff is well, right out of the gate. The problem with The Stuff is that it was marketed as a horror movie, but it's only partially a horror movie. It's kind of like a black comedy, like I mentioned earlier. Like it is, there are parts of it that are just supposed to be kind of funny, you know. It has almost a John Carpenter feel from They Live. It's that kind of thing. And what the whole movie is about is these guys find something bubbling up out of the ground that looks like marshmallow cream, and they decide to market it as The Stuff because nobody knows what it is, you know. And so this whole movie is about marketing this product that's addictive, you know. And as people continue to eat it and eat it and eat it, and so it becomes a thing where it's all you need to eat. So it really reminds me of Idiocracy, and, you know, they're like, well, it's got electrolytes. It's kind of like that. So what happens with The Stuff is that people, it starts rotting them from the inside out, and they start becoming made of the stuff. They start turning into marshmallow goo on the inside, but people still won't stop eating it because it's so good, and it kind of turns them into these zombies. And so here's the parents. This is one storyline from the movie is the parents. They have these two kids, and one kid loves the stuff, but the other kid at the beginning of the movie opens the fridge and he sees the stuff, like the cup is tilted over and it's oozing out, and then when he sees it, it oozes back in, and he's like, I think that stuff's alive. And the parents later are like, oh, you know what, yeast is alive and we still eat yeast, and so they have all these counter things. And so really what the movie is kind of a parody, and almost a parable, if you will, of like marketing this stuff. Even though people know it's not good, the company keeps selling it, and people keep, you know, and these people like start turning into almost like zombies and monsters, you know. There's people that get killed, and then the stuff all comes out of their face and whatever. And it's not a great movie. It is an enjoyable movie in a B movie kind of way. I don't want to make it sound like it's a tragedy that nobody got an Academy Award for being in The Stuff. And it was directed by Larry Cohen, which is kind of interesting. But again, this is 1985. So I want to go back to something that's unrelated to The Stuff and something from my childhood, as I do this movement with hands that kind of looks like karate. When I was a little kid, one of the first movies, the first movie I ever remember watching on VHS, and this would have been like late 70s, was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And I remember that the movie had thousands and thousands of Wonka bars. And when I got a little older, I was like, man, I want one of those Wonka bars, just to put on display to think about Willy Wonka. And my mom said, those aren't real. Those are all just movie props. And so, even up until up until like around the time that internet came out, like let's say mid 90s, 94, 95, I remember going online and looking for like movie props. And then I found out about movie prop replicas where people had built stuff that looked like the movie prop, but it wasn't necessarily in the movie. And a lot of those things, you can't tell the difference. I mean, I think they sell Wonka bars that were in the movie. And I believe I remember reading that inside there wasn't chocolate. It was like a block of wood. And then they would just wrap it with the foil and wrap it with, the thing and made it look like a Wonka bar. And I was like, I always thought, oh, that's cool. But eventually I found, and I still have it on my server somewhere, a guy who had done a Photoshop template of the Wonka bar label. And so really at that point, all you needed was a laser printer and that kind of paper, like a glossy paper, and you could print out a Wonka bar label and wrap it around a candy bar, and then you had a Wonka bar. I just always loved that idea of either having a small movie prop or having a replica of a movie prop like that, right? I remember looking, I don't think I was looking for this. I just ran across it. I was at one of those online auction sites that deals in movie props and movie memorabilia. And I remember seeing gold coins from Goonies that had left the set, because there was all the gold coins at the end, all the gold and stuff like that. And you could own one of those. I always thought that would be kind of neat to have. But anyway, in the movie, there are they go to a grocery store, and there's an entire grocery store where the entire refrigerated section, everything has been replaced with cups of the stuff, and there's stuff everywhere. And there was a time, there probably still is a time, where you could order a actual prop. But what enterprising people have done is someone has created a template of the stuff logo in different sizes so that it will stick on different things. And so I ordered this off of Etsy. And I should mention that we were talking about this on the Retroist has a Discord for his Patreon supporters, and I'm on there. And we were talking about the stuff, and this came up, and I thought, you know what, I've always wanted one of these, but I've never pulled the trigger, because on one side you go, well, I'm paying $20 for an empty piece of plastic with a label on it that I could probably just print. But on the other hand, I have never done it. I don't have the template. I've never spent the time to make one or do one. And so finally you go, you know what, if you really want one, you should just order one. And so that's what I did. And this is a cup of the stuff. Now, it's completely empty. It ships empty. And in the movie, it's probably just marshmallow cream that's in the movie, or whipped cream, something that they're eating like that. And so, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could put something in this and put it in the fridge. But I wouldn't want to. Really, I'm paid for the label, so I wouldn't want to take a chance of messing up the label. I did think it would be funny to put in the back of the refrigerator and just leave it there, but nobody in my family watches these old bad movies with me, so none of them would recognize what this is. So it will go on the shelf right after this show. In fact, I will walk over and put this on the shelf. There is a label on the lid as well. And if you look online for all the cups of the stuff, and you can see the picture right there of them in the shot. This is pretty close. They're covering up the logo there, but trust me, it looks just like the logo. And people have copied, made sure that it says, it says no artificial ingredients, which is true, and it's kind of a joke on the movie because it bubbles right out of the ground, and they just start marketing it. And then this is a 1 pint container. And there were different size containers in the movie, but this was prominently displayed, and people would just walk around and just eat it, straight out of the container. So I really, really enjoy this. It's hard to explain. I think what I'm going to do is, if I can cut some wood down to be about the same size as a Wonka bar, I will make one of those Wonka bars, and I will display it back there next to the cup of the stuff. I kind of like the idea of leaving this where people would see it, but there's just so many people that I see, or so few people, I should say, in real life that would actually get the joke that it's not worth it. And then I would be afraid that somebody would immediately get it and they would be like, oh, I could put my pencils in that and start picking at the label or something. Because at the end, it is a label that someone has just printed out and stuck on there, a sticker, and then this top piece, is another sticker. So I don't, leaving it out, I don't know that anybody would get it. I thought about maybe leaving it out in my movie room and like on the table or something like that. And then people might, if the right person came over, I might put it out there as a decoration before people came over. That might be kind of fun to see if anybody actually recognizes it or something like that, or put it over by where I keep the little snacks for the candy bars and the boxes of candy and stuff that I have out there. So I don't know, but yeah. So after all those years of wanting to do something like that, I pulled the trigger, and I just couldn't be happier about it. I just really enjoy it. It looks just like the ones in the movie, and again, the big payoff would be if somebody saw that, was like, is that from the stuff, and then that would be really funny. And even if that doesn't happen, just the fact that I know it's over there is okay with me. So I will see you guys. Hope you will be hearing some stuff from me this week for sure. So I will be talking to you virtually very soon. Take care, guys.